Good morning, everyone. This is Lydia and Jackie at Homespun Quilt and Yarn, and we made the Dancing Diamonds table runner, and it's got these odd corners that we need to bind. So we're going to show you how we're going to do it. So the first thing you need to do is find your corner, and in this case you can just follow the seam line, or you can measure like Jackie's going to do with a 1/4 inch from one side and then find that center point, and you can either stick a pin straight down in it.
Yeah, so that's what I did, is I just stuck a pin in it and then I moved it over to that side. And I put this one in that one, and then I put another one in so that I'd have a cross point so that I could see it on either side. And so then as I come down, I'll stop at this point.
Yeah. So on these corners that aren't 90 degree, you want to sew right to the pin, and then we'll take it out and show you how to do the turn. And while Jackie's doing this,
to watch me do this for the first time.
Yeah. Jackie's husband now makes these 3D printed binding holders, and he's going to extend this another inch or so, so that'll be 1.5 inches, and you'll be able to wind queen size binding onto those.
Yep, but right now this all wound up minus the, half a strip that is on here. Well, this is one strip. There are 4 cuts at 2.5 inches on this one right now, folded in half. Prepped and ready to go. Alrighty, let's give this a go, shall we?
Shall.
I mean, we might as well.
So we're using, we highly recommend using a walking foot for this, because it feeds both layers at the same time at about the same pressure and speed, so you don't end up with wrinkles anywhere. And she's going to sew right up to the point where the pin is.
And what I like to do here is, because I can see on my foot the edge of my fabric here to my needle, because I know that that is my 1/4 inch, I can visualize this coming down, and I know that the spot that I need to be needs to intersect with this one, so I can pull this one out and I can feel the exact spot with the other pin. And that allows me to put one in this way so that I can go along and I can keep it going. And then I'm going to take the other one out so that I don't hit it as I'm going. Now I know that once it's under 1 stitch, I know that I only have 3 more stitches to go for it to be in the exact same spot. So that's for my first stitch, and then 1 and 2. And that's exactly the spot that I needed to be in. And that's only because I know that from the needle to this spot right here is 3 stitches.
Okay. And then you can either, I would probably back stitch a couple stitches before I take it out, so we don't accidentally pull it.
One thing I like to do is do a knot.
That knot would be fine too.
My machine is able to do a knot, so that's what I'm going to do here.
And that stitches in place for 3 or 4 times, depending on the machine you have.
And then you can just raise your needle and lift it up. When I'm doing my 90-degree angles, I don't even break my thread.
Yeah.
I leave it, but I'm going to cut it today just so that we can see things better on the camera. So.
Okay. So now this is really similar. Oh, and actually they, if you leave the pin in, then you know exactly where to fold it. Put the pin this way.
That's right.
Okay. So the pin gives you your pivot point.
Right.
And you're going to want to make sure. Now, what is this working on this one? Because it should back up itself.
Because I had the pin in the wrong.
Because this should back up to there and come this way. So as you could tell, we didn't practice this beforehand.
No, she just sent me in and said, all right, I'm going to
We're going to do a video now.
Well, that's right.
So that should be fine, even though...
Because my fold needs to be the same line. This fold needs to line up with the same fold there, which is perfect.
And then you can use pins to hold the binding in place, or we're just kind of, we're experienced, so we can do it without. But you can also use the binding clips, like the Wonder clips.
Those things are fantastic.
Hair clips work, those little metal ones that, well.
Yep, the little folding clips.
Thank you. I couldn't
I
remember.
forgot
It's
all
like
of
those were clips.
I forgot all of my stuff at home today, conveniently, apparently. But I always have one in my little foldy clam up case. So.
Oh, we forgot to show them how to find the next, even though it's marked. There's a different way to find that corner.
Yes, I will.
So you can do, like this one, we know it comes right to the point, so we just put a pin in the seam. You can also measure 1/4 inch from the edges and mark that. But in this case, you can also fold this edge over to here and find the corner that way. Oops, am I in the right one? Yeah, it was. Okay, good. Anyway.
Yep, you fold it up this way, and then
should match these raw edges.
Yep. Right, like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is just the binding.
Yeah,
from
that's
the other
right.
side. So.
Alrighty.
So I'm going to have Jackie do both of those corners, and then we'll take it out and see how we did.
See how her instructions on telling me how to do this and the way that it can be done. Because I have a couple things like this. I have one that's an octagon shape that I really love to bind, and I just...
Yeah, hexagons, octagons, anything up to 180 degrees. After that, you're on your own. I think on something like that, you would use separate pieces.
Yeah.
And fold them under. So again, she's going to sew down to the point of that pin 1/4 inch away from the edge of the fabric and right up to the pin. You can also take a pin and put it on top of the binding so you can see it better. If you're afraid of this, you can always do it with hand wheel.
Yeah, you can always just hand it in. Yeah. Now I'm going to do my one not like I did before.
And put that pin back in so you have your fold mark. So Jackie's doing this cold. Like she said, I just came in this morning and said, we're going to do a video. Have you ever done this before? And the deer in the headlights looked like, no. It's like, okay, it's fine. But she figured out most of it before I even told her anything. So,
yeah,
you know, she's got this. The really important parts are sewing to the pin and of course lining up your raw edges. So we had a customer in a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about, I'm so old, we had driver's ed and sex education in the same car. We thought that was so funny.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Okay. All right, so she's got the second corner done. Now we'll see how we did. You know, and I say we because she's doing it, but ha ha ha.
It's the royal we.
Mm-hmm. Because we all know I am Queen Victoria.
Well, yeah. Alrighty, people. Moment of truth. Let's see.
Let's take this from under so they have a better background. And
So,
I'm going to move the camera. There we go. So now, okay, don't mind this for a second. I'm
wiggle,
going
wiggle,
to
wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Move these. And here's the corners. She did such an excellent job. Nice. So when you turn it over, you're going to do the same as you would on a 90-degree corner.
You're going to pull it to here, stitch it in, stopping there, and then...
Now she's assuming that you're doing this with your machine, but it would work the same way.
Yeah, if you're
just use
hand
clips.
binding, put it to there,
Yeah.
and then you're going to fold that in right on there using that.
Make it look pretty.
Yep. Oh, I didn't quite. There we go. And if you find that there's too much bulk there, you can always clip some of this out.
But be super careful with
Really,
that.
really careful, because you cannot clip past that. So you can only on this side. What I like to actually do is pinch it with my fingernail, because I can move myself in and then line up my finger behind it with the scissors and then clip. That way I know that I'm not gonna nick it too much.
Okay. Let's show him the whole table runner. Actually, can you hold it up? It might look. Like hold it in front of you.
She assumes that I'm like tall.
It's 55 inches long, so it's big. Anyway,
It's beautiful.
there's dancing diamonds and funny angles for your binding. Thanks, everyone.